Hi, Assalamualaikum. I wish to Dr. Raihan. So today we are from Group 1. We're going to present about case study for PHY210 with the topic that we have been choose, which is topic 4. Okay, so this is our group member. The first one is me myself, Muhammad Zuhairi bin Zainuddin, as a group leader. The second one is Faris Faisal bin Ahmad Yani, and the last one is Wan Muhammad Zafarul Haikal bin Wan Muhammad Zaidi. So here is our content in this video presentation. At first, I will explain about the temperature and the thermal equilibrium, and after that, Faris Faisal will explain more in thermometer and thermometer scale, and the last one, Zafarul Haikal, will explain about the calorimetry. Alright, so first of all, what is the definition of temperature and thermal equilibrium? So temperature is used to measure how hot or cold something is, and temperature have three units, which are Fahrenheit, Kelvin, and degree Celsius. So next, for thermal equilibrium, by the definition, thermal equilibrium is defined as when two objects reach the same temperature and there is no net flow of heat between two objects. So this is the conversion unit for temperature between Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So the first one is from Celsius to Fahrenheit. The formula given is temperature of Fahrenheit is equal to 9/5 times with temperature of Celsius plus 32. Next is from Fahrenheit to Celsius. The formula is temperature of Celsius is equal to 5/9 in bracket temperature of Fahrenheit minus 32. And the third one is from Celsius to Kelvin. The formula is temperature of Kelvin is equal to temperature of Celsius plus 273.15. And the last one is from Fahrenheit to Kelvin. And the formula given is temperature of Kelvin is equal to 5/9 in bracket temperature of Fahrenheit minus 32 plus 273.15. So here are some examples. So the first one is convert the temperature of the coldest area in a freezer, negative Fahrenheit to degree Celsius and Kelvin. So this is the answer that I have made for this example. Okay, so now we move to thermal equilibrium. As I mentioned before, thermal equilibrium is when two objects reach at the same temperature and there is no net flow of heat between these two objects. So what is thermal equilibrium example? The first example is when a hot cup of coffee is kept under room temperature. Then the heat get transferred to the atmosphere with respect time until the temperature of coffee and atmosphere is equal. So let's say that the temperature of a cup of coffee is 50 degrees Celsius and temperature of atmosphere is 23 degrees Celsius. So the temperature of a cup of coffee will be transferred to atmosphere until their temperature will be equal.
So now it's about the thermometer and thermometer scale. A thermometer is an instrument that measures temperature. It can measure the temperature of a solid such as food, a liquid such as water, or a gas such as air. Of thermometer are alcohol, liquid crystal, and infrared radiation barometer. The three main temperature scale are Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. The Celsius and Fahrenheit scale are the most common, but the Kelvin scale is primarily used in scientific experiment. Here we have three main temperature scale. First is Kelvin. So you can see the water boil for Kelvin is 373 Kelvin. And human body temperature for Kelvin is 310 and water freeze is 273 Kelvin and the absolute zero for Kelvin is 0 Kelvin. And for Celsius, still same 100 Celsius, but the human body temperature is 37 Celsius, water freeze is 0 Celsius, and the absolute zero is minus 273 Celsius. For Fahrenheit, water boil is 212 Fahrenheit. The human body temperature is 98 Fahrenheit. Water freeze is 32 Fahrenheit, and the absolute zero is minus 459. Usually, because temperature is a relative measurement, scale based on different point must be used to accurate measure. The SI unit of temperature as per the International System of Unit is Kelvin. Temperature can be converted from one scale to another using temperature conversion equation. Example question to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So you can use the formula C multiplied with 1.8 plus 32, and Fahrenheit to Celsius is Fahrenheit minus 32 divided by 1.8. So the example question, you can see convert body temperature 37 Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we just input information into the Celsius to Fahrenheit formula, and we can get the answer like 98.6. For second example question is Celsius to Kelvin. So you can see the formula for change the Celsius to Kelvin is K equal to C plus 273.15. Okay, the example question is change the 13 Celsius to the Kelvin. So we just put the information into the equation. 13 plus 273.15, and we can get the answer 303.15 or 303 Kelvin. For the third question, we want to change from Fahrenheit to Kelvin. So the formula is K equal to F plus 459.67 multiplied with 5/9. The example question is we need to change from 75 Fahrenheit to the Kelvin. So we put the information into the formula, and we got the answer 297.038 Kelvin. So this for we need to change Kelvin to Fahrenheit. So the formula is Fahrenheit equal to 320 Kelvin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello. My name is Wan Muhammad Zafarul Haikal bin Wan Muhammad Zaidi. My ID number is 2021830966. So for my part, I'm going to talk about the calorimetry. Before we are going further, the explanation about calorimetry is a technique to measure specific heat, involves heating a material in a chemical reaction or other process by adding it to a sample of water and record its final temperature. To explain it briefly and make it simple, calorimetry is actually the process of measuring the amount of heat released or absorbed during chemical energy. The formula that we can use to solve any problem or question that relate to calorimeter, we can use the formula heat loss equal to heat gain. Heat loss, which is the MC theta for any substance, equal to MC theta for calorimeter plus MC theta for water, which is the heat gain. What is calorimeter? Calorimeter is actually an instrument used in calorimetry for measure the amount of heat released or absorbed in a chemical or physical reaction. We can use calorimeter to determine the heat content, latent heat, specific heat, and other thermal properties of substance. Next, we are going to look at the type of calorimeter. So there are two types of calorimeter and we are going to look at this picture. The first picture is a simple calorimeter, or it also can be simple and known as a coffee cup calorimeter. And we use it to measure the heat flow of a chemical reaction or physical change, which is the energy transfer take place. And for the second picture is a bomb calorimeter that used to measure the thermal energy released when a substance burns. For the last one, we are going to look at some example. A 200 gram copper calorimeter contains 150 gram of water at 20 Celsius. 250 gram of aluminium at 100 Celsius was added into the calorimeter. What will be the final temperature of the system after equilibrium is established? And we also given with the specific heat capacity for calorimeter, water, and also aluminium. This is the solution for the question. The question can be solved using the formula heat loss equal to heat gain. Heat loss, which is the mc theta for aluminium, equal to mc theta for calorimeter plus mc theta for water, which is the heat gain. Then we put all the information given into this formula, but we have to remember that all the information must be in SI unit. And the answer for this question is 39.3 Celsius as the final temperature.